Hey guys, so sorry. Someone came in my room. We're still on worksheet number 5, video 5. This is the continued version. And I believe we had already found out the slices. All right, we were working on number 4. Okay, Miss Hilt sold 120 pencils for 35 cents each. If half of the cost is profit, how much profit did she make on the pencils? Okay, if we're going to figure out what half is, then we got to know how much she made altogether. Okay, so if she had 120 pencils and she sold all those pencils for 35 cents each. If we multiply that, that'll tell us how much money she made altogether. Okay, so we have 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10, carry our 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 1 we carry is 6. And then we've already used that one, we can mark him out. And we need our placeholder 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3. I'm going to draw my line down here, I'm going to skip down. Okay, now we could do a whole nother row of zeros, but it wouldn't change the value any. So if you want to leave that off, that's fine. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 6 is 12. Carry the 1. And 3 plus the 1 we carried is 4. Okay, so they're going to have this answer on there, 4,200. But we were working with a decimal number. So we know our answer's got to have a decimal in it. To find out how many digits go behind it in the answer, you look in the problem. How many digits are behind the decimal in the whole problem? Well, there weren't any there, but there was 1, 2 here. That means there'll be 1, 2 in the answer, and that makes sense. We were talking about money, so $42 and no cents. All right, it says half the cost of, so half of that was profit. So if we take the $42 that she made and we cut it in half by dividing it by 2. 2 would go into 4, 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. We subtract, get 0, bring down our 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. We subtract and we end up with no remainder. So $21 is half of the cost, which is the profit, and that's what they were asking us for. Well, it's not wanting to work for me now. All right, and the last one. Miss Hilt runs 3.5 miles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. How many miles will she run in a month in which there are 4 Mondays, 4 Wednesdays, and 4 Fridays? All right, we're gonna have a lot of work to do on this one, aren't we? All right, she runs 3.5 miles each of those days. So first of all, let's see how many days would that be? So that'd be 4 days plus 4 days plus 4 days. So we had 8 days plus 4 days is 12 days. All right, she's running 12 days. And we could work this one of 2 ways. We could say she's running 3.5 miles times 12 days. Okay, now, if we're going to be multiplying with mixed numbers, we first need to turn it into an improper fraction. To do that, we multiply diagonal and then add the numerator. So we would have 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. And we were dealing in halves, so it's still going to be in halves. Okay, now times 12. Anytime we're working with a whole number, we can make it a fraction also by placing it over a 1. That just makes it easier for us to line up when we multiply. So 7 times 12, I would go over to the side somewhere, write that out. 7 times 2 is 14, carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus the 1 that we carried is 8. So on top we have 84. 2 times 1 is 2. Well, it doesn't make any sense to say she ran 84 halves miles, does it? So we would divide it just like we read from top to bottom. 84 divided by 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8, and we subtract. Bring down our next number. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4, and we get a 0. So, she ran 42 miles that month. Now, I said we could do this 2 different ways. We're still going to get the same answer. It's just some people work with fractions better, some people work with decimals better. Well, if we remember back to our decimals, we said that a half can also be represented with a 0.5. So if we have 3 1/2, we have 3.5. 3.5 times how many days? 12 days. So I would stack those. And then multiply as usual. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 1 we carried is 7. Can't forget our placeholder. Oh, let me, just a sec. Let me move this just a little bit. All right. Can't forget our placeholder 0. We're working with the second digit. Second row need to be under the second digit. We've already used that one. So 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. That's all of our digits, so we add those together. Trying to get some space here where I can see better. All right. 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry our 1. And 1 plus 3 is 4. Now, you may see 420 on that test, but that's not right yet because we're working with a decimal number. To find out how many go behind the decimal in the answer, we look at the problem. How many digits are behind the decimal in the whole problem? Well, just the 1, just the 5. So that's how many will be behind the decimal in the answer. So we came out with 42. Well, when we divided our 84 by 2, we got 42. So it doesn't matter if you want to work with it as a decimal or as a fraction, you're still going to get 42. So whichever works best for you. If you work better with fractions, then do it this way. If you work better with decimals, remember that 1/2 can be written as 0.5. Peace.